fact, Durban's International Convention Centre is hosting the latest instalment of the SA Sports Awards. The big names are streaming into the venue now, and eNCA sports editor Vata Ngobeni is there for us. And one might forgive him for being a little starstruck. Earlier when we spoke to him, he did have a lovely guest. It was Kolisi, as well as his lovely wife, Rachel. Now, earlier when we spoke to you, Vata, there was so much noise, and I said, I'm actually quite jealous that I'm not there. I would love to see all these stars that people are screaming about. So is there anybody else that has walked in between last time that we spoke to now that we might want to know about?
Well, so the main guest of tonight, Nicole, is the Minister of Sport, Minister Natim Teto. He's just arrived, and with him he came along with SAFA President and CAF Special Advisor to the President of CAF, Petrus Motsepe, Dr. Danny Jordan. And I think what is extremely important, beyond just what the Minister said about his excitement, but eventually having the Sports Awards back after a 2.5-year hiatus due to COVID, is the fact that Dr. Jordan eventually alluded to them looking forward to the return of fans to stadiums. Yes, we've seen in today's CAF Champions League match between Mamelodi Sundowns and Al Ahly that there were fans, 2,000 fans in the stadium. We saw as well earlier on at Loftus Versfeld in the game between the Bulls and Munster that there were 2,000 fans. But it seems as though with the state of disaster imminently going to be lifted in the next day or two, we should see more fans returning back to stadiums, and that is what I think the whole of South Africa has been crying for. You see stadiums packed in Europe in various sporting codes, and people just want to get back to some form of normality. And it seems as if, in the next week or two, we should have more than just the 2,000 fans that have been allocated at the moment. Don't be surprised, Nicole, if you're going to see maybe 75% of the stadium capacity being allowed back.
Definitely, so many of the fans have been yearning to get out there and get into the stadiums and support their teams. But also, other than that, we've talked about this before, Budvata, that the 2,000 fans is just not viable also in terms of the revenue that not only the stadium needs to make, but also the various stakeholders that are involved who for the past 2 years have not been able to, perhaps put food on the table for their families. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my pulse, and I'm sure you as well on that one in the next day or two to see what comes out of that, and hopefully holding thumbs that we're going to be seeing the return of fans very, very soon. Back to the awards this evening, Budvata. Coach of the Year, I want to touch on Rassie Erasmus. Of course, it is a man that so many of us love, and I remember when he had that band of his and with all of his Twitter posts, we saw him dancing. He was posting pictures of him really just enjoying and living his best life. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win Coach of the Year?
I think, Nicole, you speak about Rassie Erasmus again, a man who brought us gold on the 2nd of November in Tokyo in 2019 with the Springboks. I think what's even very significant about a guy like Rassie Erasmus is that he became the first Springbok coach not to be scared of making a black player the captain of the Springboks, and that's when he delivered Kolisi as the first black captain of the Springboks in 2018. He's gone on again, to win the Rugby Championship, went on to win in New Zealand, and obviously the significant victory against England in the World Cup final. As much as he's relinquished the job of head coach and he's now assumed his role as director of rugby, and we've seen a guy like Jacques Nienaber come and take over as the head coach. He's had a significant hand in the success of the Springboks when they went on, to beat the British and Irish Lions and make sure that they record back-to-back series wins over them. And again, that name, Morné Steyn, comes to mind, having kicked the winning penalty in 2009 at Loftus, and again having done the same as well at Cape Town Stadium when he kicked the winning kick in the third test to secure the series as well. But then again, there's a name called Rocco Meiring within that shortlist. And Rocco Meiring is the one who coached our golden girl, Tatjana Schoenmaker, to, first of all, Commonwealth gold, and then obviously the world record and that gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics. So, I think Rassie Erasmus is in very, very good company, very strong company. And Rocco Meiring has successfully over the years coached many Olympic swimmers, many national champions, and many medalists at world championships. Not only did he coach at Tuks, where we've seen them produce a lot of South Africa's top Olympians, but he's coached in the USA as well. And I think that experience of him coaching the USA has put him in good stead to be able to produce the likes of Tatjana Schoenmaker. So I would say to you, be careful of that dark horse called Rocco Mering. But again, you know, when we talk about winning, it's gold. And both Rocco and Rassie have brought gold to this country and flown the flag very high.
Vata, thank you so much for that. We're going to have to leave it there for now, but thank you for giving us here in the studio and as well as our viewers a little bit of a glimpse of the glitz and glam that's happening there at the SA Sports Awards in Durban. That's eNCA's sports editor, Vata Ngobeni, crossing to us live from the Sport Awards. And I would